When I cook with tofu, I like to use the extra firm tofu. Now I've already drained the liquid out of these. It will be a block of tofu in some liquid. But what I like to do is, so it's in this big block, I like to cut it into thirds the long way here and just make slices this way. And I'm just gonna use one big slice here. So the other two I'm gonna save for using it with a different meal. Put that off to the side. Now the tofu will pretty much absorb the flavor of whatever you soak it in or cook it with. I like to use liquid aminos. If you haven't used it before, it has all the essential amino acids, the ones that you need to get from foods and your body can't produce itself. And it's akin to like soy sauce. It has a very strong, savory flavor to it. But that being said, you can use it with a lot of different flavor profiles. It doesn't have to go with just an Asian flavor profile. So I'm going to essentially soak this in there. I'm going to drizzle it over, flip it over a few times and let it just soak in. And that's going to add some saltiness, some savoriness, and some flavor to the tofu so that when I cook it and add it to my meal, it tastes good. After it's soaked for a little bit, I have a couple options. I like to either sear it on a pan on the stove, or I have air fried it before. It's, even though it says firm, it's still pretty soft, but the firm like sticks together a little bit better when you cube it. So after you let it soak, and you don't have to let it soak for very long. For efficiency, I will cook it in the block like this, and then after it's cooked, cut it into cubes and add it to my meal. You can cube it beforehand. I just find it tedious to try to like flip the cubes and try to get the other sides. But either way works really well. So after you let it soak, then you're going to cook it, then add it to your meal. I usually add it to a plate of cooked veggies, and then I decide what flavor I'm gonna do. Sometimes I will add like some ginger paste and wasabi sauce to go for like the Asian feel. I've done it with the Mexican flavoring as well. You can add any type of carbohydrate to it, but essentially that is how I like to do it. Just either sear it like this, then cube it, or air fry it and then cube it and then add it to your meal.